Hi, I'm Marty.
And I'm Fran.
We're best friends who live 3,000 miles apart, and today we'd like to talk about how Skype helps us to keep in touch.
I've lived with bipolar disorder all my life and also have chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia. Despite living on the other side of the Atlantic, Marty is my main caregiver and support. What we've learned over the past 4 years since we met online has taught us that technology can help support family and friends living with mental illness, no matter where they live.
First of all, we'll see how Skype helps us in our long-distance friendship.
Second, we will look at our caregiver relationship and see how Marty is able to support me so well despite living on the other side of the world, including times when things are not so great.
And finally, we'll mention the book that we're writing together, our vision for the future, and our role as Skype ambassadors for social good. Like any friends or family members who live far from each other, it's really important to me and Fran that we can talk and meet like this on webcam. All the more so as we met and have grown our friendship completely online. We make the most of what Skype offers us, and we get together up to 3 hours a day. We were interviewed recently by health writer and blogger Diane Atwood, and she asked us how can we spend so much time together. Getting together regularly is helpful to Fran from a health point of view, but essentially it's because we enjoy each other's company.
The company thing is really important and fun too. Many times I want and need connection but don't have the energy or wherewithal to be with people in person. That requires more of me than I can give. Being with Marty like this is never a dream.
Skype lets us hang out together and share a coffee or a beer just as easily as if we lived in the same town. We get to meet each other's friends and family and share our common interests with each other just like friends do the world over. We read books together, both for pleasure and also titles related to Fran's health conditions and the book that we're writing. I'm not really a big sports fan, but Fran is, and she's introduced me to the Triple Crown, the Super Bowl, and salted caramel popcorn.
You've also helped me with cooking and baking.
And breaking open a coconut.
Yes, breaking open a coconut.
Mostly, we connect when we're each at home, like we are right now. But with Skype on our phones, we also get to share our lives outside these walls. One lovely example of that was Fran's first Christmas after she moved to Portland. One of the big houses not far from her place, Swan Hall, opens its doors to visitors in aid of charity, and Fran took me to see all the amazing decorated rooms. We were on a Skype video call as she arrived at the door of Swan Hall. I imagined that she'd end the call and maybe send me a few photos later. But she kept me on and even introduced me to the folk on the door. "Hi, this is Marty, my friend from England. Do we need 2 tickets?"
I took Marty with me, Skyping through all the rooms. There was something like 14 beautifully dressed trees, and Marty took screenshots of what I was showing him and shared them on social media. Those pictures came out like beautiful watercolors and ended up going all over the world. Talking about going all over the world, Marty is a homeboy. He's never been abroad at all.
Not yet.
But I love to travel whenever I can. Marty has come with me on trips to Barcelona, Panama, and the Bahamas. It's fun to share foreign places with Marty.
And I love to travel the world from sitting right here at my desk.
But also having him along for the ride is really important to me staying stable. Travel can be really destabilizing for someone with bipolar. Skype means Marty gets to come too, and that makes a huge difference to me being able to travel safely.
That brings us on to how important Skype is to me, supporting Fran from 3,000 miles away as her caregiver. She has a great local support team of friends and professionals, and it's important to me that I feel a part of that team. I've met many of her friends, and sometimes have joined appointments with her case manager. This is important to me in my role as her best friend and caregiver, but I think it's also important to her support team that they know who I am.
Marty helps me with some of the therapies and techniques I use to keep myself as well and stable as possible. We meditate together and are taking a course in nonviolent communication and have done Skype empathy circle calls with people from all over the world. Marty has also helped me develop my wellness plan, and we are working on a wrap plan for me too.
These are things that I've found helpful in my own life as well as helping Fran. I'd never thought about needing a wellness plan for myself, but giving some thought to my own self-care is really important and helps me be aware of when I'm getting stressed and need to look after myself as well as others.
Marty also does a lot of practical things for me and with me.
You might think it would be difficult to help someone in practical ways if you're thousands of miles away. I can't drive Fran to appointments or fetch groceries, or bring meals round if she's not doing too well, or help clear the snow in the winter time. But actually there are a lot of things I can do, from helping monitor her internet use to editing emails and documents for her and with her. Structure is particularly important in keeping Fran on an even keel. Our being in touch at regular times gives her days and weeks of framework, and we work together closely on plans, schedules, and to-do lists.
My bipolar, chronic fatigue syndrome, and fibromyalgia mean I have to be very careful when I am planning things I want to do. Otherwise, I push myself too hard and end up having to crash for days or even weeks. Marty helps me organize my schedule so I get to do most of what I want to do and build in lots of downtime so I keep as well as possible.
As well as day-to-day planning, getting together on Skype also means I can help Fran with planning and organising bigger things, like when she had to find somewhere new to live and move home within a couple of months, or when we had just 4 weeks to prepare Fran for a 3-month trip around Europe with her parents.
That summer was one of the most stressful times I have ever known. It should have been the trip of a lifetime, and in many ways it was. But the stress of constantly being on the move and having to plan things to do and where we were going to stay next all the time, and having no time nor space to myself or chance to rest and get my energy back really messed with my illnesses.
Fran was away from home and all her normal structures and support team. I was her only contact with her normal life, and even that was very different from usual because we were very limited in how often we could connect. We weren't able to use the webcam at all, and we didn't get to talk every day, but Skype was absolutely critical to me being able to support Fran through that summer as they moved around Europe. I helped her find hotels and routes, and one time I even acted as a human GPS when they got lost.
The GPS in our car was not working. I was in the back seat and Marty tracked where we were and gave me directions. It was like having an angel on board.
We used Skype instant messaging a lot that summer, but being able to hear her voice on calls meant that I had a much clearer idea of how well or poorly she was doing.
It got pretty rough at times, but with Marty's support, I made it through. Without him and without Skype to keep us connected, I really don't know what I would have done. I might not be here. They are part of my toolbox, like the meds and the therapies and the behaviors I use to help keep me well.
We're both passionate about sharing what we've learned in the 4 years we've been friends. We're writing a book about how to be a supportive friend to someone who lives with mental illness, especially how modern technology, like Skype, means that you can do that pretty much from anywhere.
We hope our story can inspire connections between ill ones and well ones for a stronger, more compassionate world. Our vision is a world where no one is too far away to be cared for or to care.
We're delighted that Skype picked up on what we're doing and are very proud to join their ambassador program as ambassadors for social good.
Thanks for listening. We hope you will check out our social media and join us for another video blog very soon.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.